So, I have a very fascinating story to tell you tonight. But before we get to that, Pasha Behaalotcha, this week is Pasha Behaalotcha. Pasha Behaalotcha starts off talking about with the mitzvah of Aharon to light the neiros, to light the menorah in the Beis HaMikdash. As it says, Dabel Aharon ve'amata elov, Behaalotcha es ha-neiros, emu pnei menorah. When you will bring up the candles, the lights, opposite the menorah, Yi'iru shiras ha-neiros, the 7 neiros will be lit. So the question is, why specifically Aharon had this mitzvah of lighting the candles? So the Torah tells us, Lama nismacha pashas ha-menorah le-pashas ha-nesiyim. The end of last week's pasha, which is called Pashas Naso, talked about the opening of the Mishkan, and every Nasi, Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, every Nasi would bring a carbon for the grand opening. But Aharon, who was the Nasi of Levi, Sheva Levi, was not asked to bring a carbon. So he felt very bad that every Nasi brought a carbon to open up the Mishkan, and he did not get a chance to do that. So it bothered him. It actually bothered him that he didn't have the mitzvah that the other ones had. So it says, Lefi, so why are they next to each other, the Pasha Behaalotcha? So Rashi says, Lefi kishira Aharon chanukas ha-nesiyim cholsha. When Aharon saw that the Nesiyim were all bringing a carbon, it made him weak. He felt bad. Shelo ya'im mahem, right? Because he wasn't with them, b'chanukah, with the opening of the Beis HaMikdash, v'loihu v'loi shifta. Him and the whole Shevet Levi didn't have a part of it. Amalei HaKadosh Baruch Hu Hashem said to him, chayecha, on your life, what you're going to do is bigger than what the Nesiyim did. Because you are going to take care of the Neiros in the Beis HaMikdash. What they did was only once, opening the Beis HaMikdash, and you're going to do it every single day, and it's going to go on forever, because Hanukkah, right? And we spoke about Hanukkah, that every person who lights the menorah Hanukkah is like a Kohen Gadol. So Hanukkah is going to continue. So you have a much bigger reward. Just the opener, one time, is not as great as a person who gets to work in the Beis HaMikdash continuously over and over and over again. But the question is, why specific lighting candles? Because there's another thing that the Kohen Gadol does that no one else does, and that's Yom Kippur. He does the avoda. The actual avoda in the Beis HaMikdash was only allowed to be done by the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur, not a regular Kohen. So why don't we say that Aharon, you didn't get a chance? It makes more sense, because he missed out on bringing a sacrifice of an animal. So Hashem should have given him reward, the sacrifice of an animal. So Yom Kippur makes a lot more sense to say, you missed out on the opening of the Mishkan, that you didn't sacrifice an animal. But you're going to get to sacrifice an animal on the holiest day of the year forever. Because the only person that's allowed to go into the Kodesh Kodashim on Yom Kippur and bring those korbanos is the Kohen Gadol. So why did you pick on menorah? That he lights the menorah and he cleans the menorah. It's also very interesting that Rashi says that his reward was that he cleans the old wick out. He cleans metivo. He prepares and he cleans and he lights. Not just that he lights. I would think that the cleaning and the preparing, you get your fingers all full of ash and all dirty. That's not honorable for a person. So the Rashi should have just said that as a reward, you're getting to light the menorah. What's with the cleaning and preparing the menorah? And what's altogether the lighting the menorah? Why don't we talk about Yom Kippur? So, I deal a lot with people who are in denial of Hashem, sometimes not in denial of Hashem, but prove him, right? So you have a reason that you ask someone to prove something, right? When you drink a glass of water, you don't ask, when you turn on the faucet, or you turn on your shower, you're like, prove me it's water, maybe it's vinegar, right? Because it's water, and you don't need the proof. You're not looking to disprove it. You're not looking to say, it's not water that's coming out of the shower. It's not water that's coming out of my faucet. So you're not looking to disprove it. But you're looking to disprove it, that's when you ask to prove it. So a lot of people I don't believe that there's Hashem. I don't believe Hashem created the world. I don't know if He created the world, and who was here before Him. All these crazy questions, a lot of questions, which to me is very foolish, because the answer to these questions are absolutely meaningless. What does that have to do with you? It has nothing to do with you. You are a human being, and Hashem is our God. And where He came from, how He came from, all this stuff, it's just, it doesn't make any sense. It's like asking, where does a rock come from? Take the rock and build a house with it. What is the difference? You have a brick in front of you? Use it. Use the brick and do something with it. Don't try to figure out where a brick comes from. So the greatest proof that there's another world is fire. Why? Because the two things in this world that describe the physical human world by scientists, by everybody, there's two things we know. We know there's a thing called gravity. If there was no gravity, as Rabbi Wallerstein was giving this share, everybody would be floating around the room. Because when you leave the earth and you're in a spaceship, you float around, right? So if there's no gravity, it keeps everything down. That's why we're on the floor. That's why the chairs are on the floor. That's not why everything's flying up. Take this room, put it on the moon, and you're going to be sitting with your head on top of the roof because there's gravity. There's no gravity, and everyone's floating all over the place. That's why when they leave a spaceship, right? So the astronauts are floating, and there's no gravity, and they need these special boots that are magnetic. So we all know about gravity. You can learn physics. We all know that gravity exists. That's why a person, the longer he lives, he gets wrinkles, because there's a continuous pressure that you don't see. And if you're 5 years old, you don't get wrinkles. But as the gravity is pushing on your face and pushing on your face and pushing on your face, after 60, 70, 80 years, pushing on your face, you get these wrinkles. But gravity is not something that you can see. It's just something that we know that you have. Now, there's a cream for it? What is somebody saying? Okay. Anyway, so the other fact that we learn in physics, all of us ingenious girls that are in the room, who went through school, we learn the theory of displacement, right? What's the theory of displacement in physics? That if I have a glass of water, and I want to take this glass of water and pour half the glass into another glass of water, the original glass will only have half, because it's called displacement. If I take from here, I have a handful of sand, and half the handful I put in here, unless I'm a Mephis, miracle maker, there's going to be only a half a hand of sand in this hand, because I'm displacing what I am putting into the other hand. So you have a pile of papers that has 100 papers, you take 50 and put it on another desk, you know automatically there's only 50 left here, because I displaced 50% of the papers. So this theory of displacement is the whole world. There's water, solids, anything, right? That you take from one, automatically the one that you're taking from becomes less, except for one thing: fire. Fire, you could take one candle, light 600 candles, and the original candle is exactly the same. The fire remains the same. In fact, you could take a spark, which is a teeny little thing, and burn down 1,000,000 acres of forest. So, what you're taking from the original item, which is fire, and putting it somewhere else, doesn't lessen the original fire. So, fire is a proof that there is something in this world not from this world. Because fire defies two essential physical theories. Fire defies the theory of displacement, and fire defies gravity. Fire always reaches up. If you take a candle, the flame is reaching up, and you turn it over. Now the flame should be reaching down. If I take this cup of water, and I turn over the cup of water, right? Gravity will make, not that the water floats, that would be lack of gravity. Gravity will make that the water will go down and hit the floor. But fire, right? If you turn over the candle, the fire still reaches up. So it defies gravity, and it defies displacement. So if you want to know proof that there's something in this world that defies this world, it's fire. When was fire created? Fire was created by human Motzei Shabbos. The human being made the first time his own fire on Saturday on Motzei Shabbos. Hashem gave us the das, how to use flint, and that was on Motzei Shabbos. And therefore we light a Havdalah candle right? We use fire on Motzei Shabbos. So, Aaron HaKohen was very busy doing shalom. As we know, there were 80,000 men by the name of Aharon, by Aaron's Levaya, the Medrash says. All those boys were called Aaron because he would tell a husband and woman that was fighting, he would tell the wife, your husband really, really wants to say he's sorry, but he's embarrassed. Then he would go to the husband and say, your wife really wants to say she's sorry, but she's embarrassed. Then the two of them would meet and they'd say to each other, listen, you don't need to be embarrassed. I'm sorry, don't worry about it. It's okay. So how he used to work it. And then they would become, then they get back to marriage and everything would work out. He was Oyev Shalom and he was Reidev Shalom. That is who he was. Now, in the physical world, when it comes to a human being, when it comes to things that we have, if I have $1,000, right, and I give Nechama 500 of those dollars, then I only have $500 left. So the concept of if I give you, I lose is a concept of everything but fire. Everything but fire, if I take away from it the original displacement, it loses. So when a human being gives money to someone, has a pizza, a slice of pizza, and I give you half, I only have a half a slice of pizza. But there is one thing in the physical human world that you can give to someone else and you don't lose anything. In fact, like a fire from a flint, from a spark, you can burn down 1,000,000 acres. The Torah tells me that if I teach kids, I'm giving them for myself. Not only am I not losing, but I'm gaining. Things that I would never understand, Hashem sends through me to those children. So, I learned just the opposite. When I do something for someone and I make them smile, or I go visit them, and I do a spiritual chesed, a fire chesed. Not I'm giving you money, but I'm giving you for my soul. I'm giving you a smile. I'm giving you a good word. Not only, look at that, I gave her happiness, now I lost my happiness. It's just the opposite. You go and help kids that are sick and you make someone else happy, your happiness gets more. It defies human nature. I'm giving you all this, so now I don't have anything left. Just the opposite. The more I give you, the more I get. Only when it comes to spirituality. In the physical world, whatever I give you, I lost. I give you my car, now I no longer have a car. I give you my apple, I no longer have an apple. But I give you a smile, I now have a bigger smile. So therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu rewarded Aaron HaKohen, who understood the concept of giving, of making shalom. Here's the Kohen Gadol go running around making shalom, that's what you have to do. Here's the Kohen Gadol. He understood that if I take these two people who are not having shalom bias, and I spend my time to help them get together, I'm not losing anything. I'm actually gaining. I really feel, people ask me, how do you have the time to do what you do? I come 2 hours late to everything, so it works out at the end. But how do you have the time to do what you do? And I tell them, I don't understand it, but I'm telling you, I have more than 24 hours a day. I have 28 hours a day. They look at me like I'm out of my mind. I'm like, I don't understand it, but I feel that I have more time than other people during the day. And it's not true, of course, I only have 24 hours. But because when you give and you help others, you gain. So if I give you an hour, I get an hour. So now I got 25 hours. Because everyone has 24 hours. If I give you 4 hours, now I got 28 hours. Because I got 4 hours where I gave, but at the same time I gained. So you could have 34 hours in a day. It's the reason that I decided to become a Rebbe. Because I realized I didn't learn one word of Torah until I was like 21 years old. I played ball. So I'm like, how do you make up 21 years of learning? You do the seconds, 21 times all the seconds in a year. It's a lot. But my Rebbe said, if you give a share, and you have 20 people in the share, so the hour that you're teaching is like 20 hours. So, Baruch Hashem, I'm getting close to making up for those 20 years. Because I figure 50,000 hits are watching an hour, that's 50,000 hours a month. I'm getting close. But that's the truth. If you teach a whole room and you give an hour of Torah, so you just gave 40 hours of Torah. Did you lose Torah by teaching anyone? I have all this knowledge and I'm giving over this knowledge. Did I lose anything? Of course not. Now I have more knowledge because Hashem's giving me knowledge to help others, right? It's the same thing with strength. If you give another person strength, you're going to get more strength so that you can give other people strength. So that's why it wasn't Yom Kippur, but Hashem wanted to symbolize that, Aaron, you have more. You're going to get to light the menorah. But that's not the whole thing, says Rashi. The working and the cleaning it out and the fixing it and the preparing it is as important as lighting it. The work, everyone, we're in our generation, we're into the reaching the goal. I'm married. I'm under the chuppah, I'm married. Then all of a sudden the girl has this look of horror on her face. Now what? I reached my goal. My friends got married. Now I'm married. I got through the dating process. I got through the crisis. And here I am. And he said, Hariyam Kudeshli, and he put the ring on. And now what? Because marriage today is a goal. And once you reach the goal, where do you go? Game over. But marriage is not a goal. Marriage is a means to reach a goal. So the Rashi is telling us that the goal of lighting the candle to Hashem is just as important as cleaning out the old candle, as preparing the new candle. And this is what I keep talking to Mechanchen about. It's the work. It's the effort. Anybody can light a candle. But to clean it out and to work it and to set it up and make sure the oil is in there and the wick is in there, that to Hashem, the work is just as important as the goal. Judaism is not goal-oriented. Judaism is work. If you work and you don't make it, it doesn't matter. There's a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos that says that. It's not for you to finish the job. How could you say that? How could you tell me I'm a plumber and you're telling me it's not for me to finish the job, right in the middle of the job, have a nice day. Right? Hello, the people are not going to be very happy. But that's in plumbing. In Judaism, the Mishnah says, Lo yolecha hamalocha ligmar. It sounds against everything that we stand for. It's not up to you to finish it. It's up to you to start it, because who knows what's going to happen in between. Somebody told me a story tonight when I was in the 5 towns. So I mentioned my Rebbe's Rabbi Gamliel, and I saw his wife had a look of horror on her face. Horror. And she said, your Rebbe's Rabbi Gamliel, did you know what he did to me and my husband? I know Rabbi Gamliel. I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm trying to raise money with like the wrong thing to say, you know? To say that I'm a Talmud Rabbi Gamliel, because they were not happy. So I said, my Rebbe is not like a hateful, spiteful person. What happened? He says, I don't go to Mekubalim, I don't go to rabbis. But I decided, my Rebbe knew Rabbi Gamliel, I'm going to Rabbi Gamliel. He says, I walk into Rabbi Gamliel, and I sit down, and he says, so, what do you need a bracha for? So I told him, Parnasa. I need a bracha to make money. Wrong. He tells me this all the time. He says, the Americans, they come, the first thing they want, money. So I knew right away. I said, I'll tell you what he told you. I knew already what he told them and why they freaked out. He said to him, to this guy, he said, you came for a bracha for money? How do you know you're going to live out the year? The guy freaked out because you go to Mekubal, he says that to you. That's not a good thing. He says, how do you know you're going to have shalom bayis? How do you know you're going to be healthy? The first thing you're asking is for money? What's money if you're not alive? He says, you come in, you ask for siyata d'shmaya, yirah shamayim. My children should grow up okay. The last thing you ask, I should have a long life with my wife. We should have shalom bayis. Everybody should be healthy. Then at the end, if you have shalom bayis and everybody's healthy, and everybody's alive, everybody's okay, then you need a parnasa. The people in the graveyard don't need a parnasa. So this guy calls his wife and says, I'm dying this year. I went to Rabbi Gamliel and he said, who said you're going to live out the year? So he was like, the whole year, he was freaked out and he thought he's going to die. So I said, the minute he said that, I said, why didn't you call me? You don't ask first for parnasa. That's the last thing you ask for. If I have all this, then I need a parnasa. If I don't have all this, I'm not alive. What do I need a parnasa for? So a person has to realize, and this was something that Aaron understood. He understood to give. To give is to get. It's the opposite of the physics. Because in physics, to give is to lose. If I give, I lose. The Torah tells you, if you give, just the opposite, you get. That is totally kineged nature. And that's the candle. That's the fire. Fire is a proof of a soul. Because we call it ner neshama. Why is a neshama compared to fire, not to water? Because a neshama has the ability to give to another and not lose its original state anything. And that's why it's called ner neshama, because fire and ner is the same thing. I want to tell you what happened, which is absolutely fascinating, at least to me, and it will be to you, I'm sure. I like to tell you stories sometimes that happened to me, right? So you all know about my foot, the whole story, on the treadmill, the ganze Maisa. So once in a while Hashem gives you a look into why He does things. So 3 days before Lag BaOmer, I was on a treadmill, as you know, and I was running, and all of a sudden in the middle of running on the treadmill, my bone cracked. I had a stress fracture. Now I've been running on that treadmill for 9 months. I was pretty much at that point at my thinnest in the 9 months, so it wasn't that I got heavy. There was no reason for that bone to break. But it did. And of course I was in a lot of pain, and I was done. I couldn't, as you know, I was in crutches here, and I'm a person that thinks. So we know the Zohar says that if you get hurt in a part of your body, you need to think about what Avera you did with that part of your body. And I'm thinking to myself, I broke my left leg. What did I do with my left leg? Did I go to gamble? No. Did I walk into a movie theater? No. I had to do something with that leg. Why did he pick up my leg? Right? I couldn't come up with the answer. Not that I'm such a big tzaddik, but I couldn't come up with the answer why I broke my left leg. Okay. There was something nagging me. This was 3 days before Lag BaOmer. And about 2 weeks before Lag BaOmer, I never went Lag BaOmer to Rav Shimon Bar Yochai because I'm a Kohen. And we're very strict Kohanim. We don't go into any place that even the biggest tzaddik is buried. I don't go into Maras Machpelah. I don't go into Kever Rachel. But there are some people that believe that you're a tzaddik and a matame. You can go. My father, we're very makbid Kohanim. We stay away from Tumah. We're very, very makbid. So even though I know very big tzaddikim that do go into Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, I don't go into Rav Shimon Bar Yochai. I don't hold these insulted. I'm a Kohen. I don't go in. And there's a Satmar Rebbe wrote a whole tshuva on it. I don't go in. So I never went. And all my friends would always come out. I know you love Yom Kippur. You must be in Meron on Lag BaOmer. I'm like, not interested. I'm a Kohen. We don't go to graves. We're 2,000 years unemployed. We go on the unemployment line by the Kaisel. The Beit HaMikdash was destroyed 2,000 years ago. We're still waiting for a job. We are the longest time that someone didn't get a job. We are still on the unemployment line. The Kohanim have no work. So I said, I go to the Kaisel. I don't go to Rebbe's, I go to the Kaisel. But 3 years ago, it came out Motzei Shabbos, Lag BaOmer. And this Chassidish guy that I'm very close to, Ashkenazi, said to me, I have a house there next to Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, in that part of Meron, on the mountain. He says, you'll be my guest. We have this huge hall. We throw a big simcha. Zecharia, you have to try Shabbos. Is holy, holy, holy Shabbos. And you know the story that I had with the breast of a kid, the whole story with the sword. So I went, and it blew me away. It just blew me away. So the next year, not this year, but last year, it also came out Motzei Shabbos. So I took my grandson, and I went again. And I remember I was on a high, a spiritual high. And I went up to Rav Shimon Bar Yochai. I didn't go into his kever, but outside his kever. And I said, okay. I think I said I'm taking on 3 things, but I definitely said I'm taking on 2 things. One of them was that I'm going to light a candle for Rav Shimon Bar Yochai every Motzei Shabbos. Baruch Hashem, I did that. Then I think I said, my daughter was single, Batya. I said, if next year by Lag BaOmer, I made a deal. If next year by Lag BaOmer, my daughter's engaged, even though it's not on Shabbos, I'm coming back. I wasn't sure if I said that or not. And when the guy invited me, I was like, I had to go to London, I had to go to California. I didn't want to go to Israel. It was too much, and it's on a Thursday night. And then I got to come back Erev Shabbos, and it's not, you land, you go there, this guy's not giving me a place to sleep, I'm just going to go there, I can't go in, so just to say Tehillim, I can go say Tehillim all year round. I said, I'm not going. I told the guy, don't make a reservation, I'm not going. But it bothered me, did I make that deal with Batya? Now Batya was engaged already at that point. So I'm like, do I have to go? Or don't I have to go? You don't play with the promise. I was like, I didn't make that I didn't say it. I don't think I said that. Because I wouldn't make a promise. I took my way out of it. I didn't go. My wife, Yortzeit, my father-in-law's Yortzeit, in fact, this year is Zech Nishmas Yishai Ben Yaakov. So her Yortzeit was today. She's in Eretz Yisrael. So Friday, before Shabbos, she went to Rabbi Gamliel to get a bracha. I'm not there, I'm here. She went to get a bracha. So she comes to Rabbi Gamliel with her mother. Her mother's there with her. And they're talking. Rabbi Gamliel says to my wife, so what are you doing next week? She said, well, Yom HaMelech, Sunday, Monday. He says, you can't leave Eretz Yisrael till you go to Rav Shimon Bar Yochai. I know Rabbi Gamliel 30 years. He has never told me to go to Rav Shimon Bar Yochai. He surely never told my wife to go to Rav Shimon Bar Yochai. He told my wife, don't leave Eretz Yisrael till you go to Rav Shimon Bar Yochai. So my wife tells this to me. She says, so I'm going to go on Tuesday. I'm thinking to myself, oh man, you messed up. Because why would Rabbi Gamliel tell her Rav Shimon Bar Yochai? He never talks like that. Motzei Shabbos, this past Motzei Shabbos, my wife goes to a woman named Leora, who we're very close to. Leora is a very holy woman. She lost 2 children in a bus bombing. She was pregnant. She lost both kids. And she made a deal with Hashem that she will help all people that lost limbs and whatever it is, through bombs, whatever it is. She will make it her lifelong work to feed them, visit them, take them on trips, take care of their kids. She made a deal with him. If you give me back my twins. That year she got pregnant, she had twins. So she said, finished. Everything's over. All I am going to do the rest of my life is take care of Klal Yisrael. She's a huge tzedekista. She comes from very big Mekubalim. And Hashem gave her a kayach. She opens it to Tehillim. And from opening that to Tehillim, she can see everything that's going on. It's amazing. I mean, I've seen it. And there are girls in this room that have seen it. It's amazing. My wife goes Motzei Shabbos. She says my name is Zecharia Shimon Rav Yitzchak HaKohen. She opens it to Tehillim. And she says, tell your husband that he made a net there that he didn't keep. That's what she says. So my wife calls me up. What nether did you make that you didn't keep? That's the first thing she said. I said, Rabbi Gamliel standing at Rav Shimon Bar Yochai. Leora is saying you made a net you didn't keep. I know, and I thought about it all the time. I know that I probably made a net last year that if Batya is engaged, I would go, and I didn't go. So he's upset. If that's what it shows him to Tehillim, that means in Shemayim you didn't keep your nether. And you don't want to get Rav Shimon Bar Yochai angry if you learn any of the Gemaras. He's the last one you want to make a nether to and not keep. So I sat down and I said to myself, so I made a nether and I didn't keep it, and it's a very bad punishment if you make a nether and you don't keep it. And I started smiling. I said, Hashem, thank you, you're the man. What did Hashem do? 3 days before Lag BaOmer, he broke my leg. Once he broke my leg, I'm an Einus. I can't go to Eretz Yisrael. I can't keep my nether. I have a broken leg. So it wasn't that I broke my nether. Hashem made sure that I had a broken leg. So if I have a broken leg, you can't have a taina against me that didn't come to Eretz Yisrael. If you're sick, you make a nether and you're sick, you should get Hataras Nedarim. You should get Hataras Nedarim. But Lamaisa, it turned into, instead of a mazid that I on purpose didn't go, into an Einus. You had a broken leg. So that broken leg that I got was the greatest rachamim that Hashem could have given me, because otherwise I would have broken a full-fledged neder, which I don't even want to tell you what the punishment is. So he broke my leg. Now let me tell you something even weird. Yeah, but Kol Nidre is a general promise. This wasn't a simple thing. And my daughter got engaged, so it wasn't a simple thing. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, cool. Thank you, Hashem. I'm good with that. Not only that, you all in this room know my whole share that I was supposed to have surgery. Hashem said, he doesn't need surgery. I just wanted to make sure he's an oinus. There's no reason to start cutting him up now. He had to be an oinus by Lag B'Omer. I broke his leg. And you all know the story with the second, my whole share, that the doctor said you need surgery, we're going to do it on Tuesday. Then I went to another doctor, and he looked into it, and he said, no, you don't need surgery, that's an old thing. And I never had the surgery. So, why didn't I have the surgery? Why did that whole thing happen? Because the Kodesh Baruch Hu said, I only did this to save Wallerstein's life. Because had he not broken his leg, he's amazing. He didn't go on purpose. With a broken leg, he's not chayiv. An oinus is patur. So we don't need to go any further and start digging and cutting them up into little pieces and have this whole surgery. And I start to look at the whole story, and I'm like, God, you really like me. Like, this is amazing. You broke my leg to save my life. And then I thought to myself, okay, why my leg? Why my leg? You could have given me high fever. You could have made me an oinus. I could have been throwing up my brains with the virus for 2 days. I also couldn't have gone to Eretz Yisrael. There's so many ways to stop me going from Eretz Yisrael and making me an oinus. Why my leg? Why'd you break it? Because you broke your promise. So the negative media is something has to be broken in you. Throwing up, that's not what you did. You broke a neder. So we have to break something. You broke, we break. But we're breaking to save you. Why your leg? Because when you go to Eretz Yisrael, it's considered Oile Regel. You decided not to go to Eretz Yisrael. So you weren't Oile Regel. So now we're going to make sure you can't be Oile Regel. So we're going to break something because you broke a neder, and we're going to break your leg. Take apart the whole story. And then say there is no God. You are out of... No, you're not out of your mind. You're dead. You're brain dead. Take apart the whole story. Rabbi Gamliel, go to Rav Shimon Bar Yochai, doesn't tell my wife why. Liora, he made a neder he didn't keep. A regel, a break. Now I'll tell you the weirdest part of the whole thing. So the doctor told me that the pain from a break like this in a knee usually lasts for about 4 weeks. And then you need about 10 weeks or 8 weeks to heal. So he told me, you're not going to play ball. I asked him if I could play ball in the summer. I play baseball. He said, you're not going to play ball. I won't let you play ball. You won't even be able to play ball until September. I'm like, September? My baseball, that's all I do. 2 months, I get to play ball. And I'm like, Hashem, come on. That's my whole thing. Sunday morning, getting up with the guys. I'm an old guy already. Play first base. And I'm the only guy with a wooden bat. They call me Woody. The wooden bat, the old man. And I look forward to this. It's a league. It's a baseball league. We're usually in first place. And I'm like, I didn't understand before that. I just had a broken. I was like, why? Okay, but take away my summer. Break my leg in December. Who cares? I'm not playing anything.
Did you dance at your daughter's wedding?
I woke up before Shavuos, the day before Shavuos. 2 days before Shavuos, I was in such pain, I could not walk on my foot. I was on crutches. I woke up the day before Shavuos, and I said, something's wrong. I have zero pain in my knee. It's impossible. So I was waiting for it to start hurting again. I took my crutches, I put them in the closet. Shavuos, day after Shavuos, Shabbos, nothing. I am in absolute zero pain. Up the steps, down the steps, Jake got married, dancing, jumping, like nothing ever happened. So I'm thinking to myself, the doctor saw the MRI. The MRI showed a contusion and the whole thing. It takes 12 weeks to mend. It doesn't take 12 weeks to mend if the only reason you broke your leg was to save your life because it had to make you an oinus. That's over. You were an oinus, you missed Lag B'Omer, you don't need to be in pain for another 9 weeks. Psh. If you think into things, if you understand, because Baruch Hu does, you can break your leg and it saves your life. And these people are able a little bit to go into the spiritual world, and I don't know. My wife didn't ask Rabbi Gamliel why he sent me to Rav Shimon Bar Yochai. He may not even know why. He just came out of his mouth. Don't leave Eretz Yisrael till you go to Rav Shimon Bar Yochai.
Did she go?
Sure she went. She was there for 2.5 hours. And what happened? Today, before she left Eretz Yisrael, back to America, she's on the plane right now, she went back to Leora. And she gave her my name. And she said, the neder that he broke, is it fixed? And she said, it's fixed. Because my wife listened to my Rabbi and went and said the whole Tehillim, whatever she did for 2.5 hours. And she asked Mechila in my name. I told her to give my name. And asked Mechila. She opened the Tehillim. She said, it's not there anymore. The breaking of the neder is not there anymore. Because it's over. Because she went as a shliach for me. So I'm just telling you a story that just happened today. And you can say, you're crazy, you're thinking things out of the box, or whatever it is. You don't break a leg for nothing. And not your left leg, because Hashem had rachamim on me. Because had I broken my right leg, I couldn't drive. I drive with my right leg. So all the things I had to do, I could still drive. So in the punishment, so to say, in the pain, is this unbelievable rachamim. So this is a story that happened to me, and maybe I'm translating it wrong, but it can't be. Go to Shemachai. He met a neder. She had no idea. My wife didn't know. Nobody in the world knew. She opened up to him and she said he broke a neder. Come on. My foot is not normal. B'li ayin hara. I want to give myself an ayin hara. It just healed. Just healed 6 weeks early. You're going to need sports rehabilitation, and you're going to need rehab, and you're going to need this and that. I'm telling you, I was by Jake's wedding. It's weird. It's like nothing ever happened. Should I jump around and run and that? I'm not that sure. But right now, it doesn't hurt. It hasn't hurt. But Lamaisa, everything that happens to us in life, because Baruch Hu, he broke my leg to save my life. Because they couldn't do anything in Shemayim. I'm sure the something came running. Oh, he broke a neder. Hashem's like, sorry, he couldn't go. He had a broken leg. He's an Einus. And the Zecharia probably said, he always does this, Hashem. Saves his people, saves his kids. He always comes up with something. I think it's a master plan. It's a brilliant plan. I mean, it's God, but it's a brilliant plan. So we have to trust Hashem that whatever he does is a very, very, very good reason that he does it. So, give everyone a bracha that Chas v'Shalom, he doesn't have to break anything. But just the opposite, he should show us his presence and his love and his care through growth, not through breaking, and through goodness. And once again, I would like to invite everybody to come to our dinner, which Shemit Hashem will be on the 18th. And I was on the radio today, and I told everyone that whether you're an Or Nava girl or not an Or Nava girl, I get a lot of questions for the last 2 weeks about this thing that happened in City Field. How come they didn't ask you to speak? How come, were you for it? Were you against it? Do you think it'll make a difference? And I have to tell you that, you don't know this, but a month before City Field, there were a minute amount of people going. And they were panicking. Because a lot of people felt that the people who are watching the wrong things, it don't matter what the rabbis say. And the people that are not watching the wrong things, they don't need it. They don't need the filter. Most of the people are going to show up. They don't even have computers. Right? Because the ones with computers are not going to show up. And this whole thing was going on. And people were coming to me, Rebbe, should I go? Shouldn't I go? Shouldn't you speak about it? Shouldn't you push it? What's your feelings on it? Of course, I'm a person that's in the public eye. Everybody wanted to know, what my feelings. And I had very mixed feelings. I wasn't really for it. Why wasn't I for it? Because I felt that, first of all, the people who want to watch the wrong things, put filters all you want. They go to the library, they'll buy a phone, they go to their friend. So she'll get to the core of what's wrong with it. Don't. That's a symptom, and the filter fixes the symptom. But you fix the symptom in your house, but the kid's going to buy a phone and has internet from CVS, or they're going to their friend's house, or they're going to the library. So I said, if they're going to make it a sifa, talk about why do you need to be on a social. Why aren't you just comfortable with real human friends instead of being on a social network? If we can figure out what's wrong with you, whether it's low self-respect or you don't like what you look like, but here you can take pictures in Photoshop and make yourself look like who knows, whatever you want. You can put a big fat car in the driveway, right? Because you go to somebody else's house. So what's going on? Why do you need to talk? Why do you need 900 friends? Get into the psyche of a person. I did not need 900 friends growing up. I didn't want 900 friends. I always paid for lunch. Imagine paying for 900 friends. Right? So why do people all of a sudden need 900 friends? And talk, and talk to the machine all day, talk, and Twitter. I'm going to the bathroom, I'm picking my nose, I picked up a tissue, my hair follicle fell off. What? What, are you out of your mind? Who? What's going on? So don't go against Twitter. It's not Twitter that's the problem. Twitter's not the problem. The problem is the person that goes on Twitter. Twitter's not a problem because I don't go on Twitter. So you can have Twitter all you want. It's not a problem. It's only a problem if I go on Twitter. So any person that has to hear an actress talk about that I just bleached my hair and I just cooked fish and I just took out the garbage, there's something mentally wrong with you. Why do you need to hear that about this person? And at what point is there something this person says that you don't want to hear? You want to hear everything. I can't even imagine if I would Twitter and tell you everything I did a whole day. Half of you would throw up.
The prediction is that
right?
Close.
Yeah, predictions. So there's 1 billion people on it every day. It might get down a little bit, but there's 1 billion people on it a day. So why do you need to be on the internet? Why are you looking at pictures that you're not supposed to? That's what I felt the Asifa should be about. Not filters, because filters is patching up the symptom. A person comes to the doctor, oh, I'm so itchy. Go to CVS, put on calamine lotion. Look like an Indian, Comanche, Apache. Right? You have calamine lotion all over your body. Baruch Hashem, the itching stopped. Next morning you wake up, you have diarrhea. Run to the doctor, hey, you have diarrhea. No problem, go to CVS, get kaopectate. You can't go to the bathroom then for 3 days after that, right? Go get kaopectate. Then the next day you come back to the doctor, oh, I have a headache, my head's exploding. No problem. Take Advil. Oh, fantastic. Right? So you know this poor person's walking around now. Kaopectate in one hand, calamine lotion in the other hand, and Motrin inside their body. And then they come back and they're like, oh my gosh, I woke up this morning with high fever. No problem, 3 Tylenols. So they got Tylenols. Then, the next day my throat is killing me. So whatever that chloroplastic, whatever you spray in your mouth to make it that you can't feel anything, that's a chlor something. And then you have Ricolas. So now this poor person's walking around, calamine lotion, Ricolas, Advil, Tylenol, kaopectate. It looks like the sickest Indian you ever saw in your life. Right? And what happens if you have strep? Because these are all 5 symptoms of strep. Rash, diarrhea, headache, fever. Right? What happens? The worst thing happens because of what this doctor just did. Because now, you don't have diarrhea anymore. Your fever is down because you're taking Tylenol. Your headache's gone because you're taking Motrin. Your itch is gone. So what happens? So the strep, which now doesn't bother you because you took care of all your symptoms, goes into your blood. And then, that's what strep does. And then, it becomes rheumatism, arthritis, because of, right? And I know someone that has it. It goes into your bones. Then you got to take penicillin shots for like 50 years, right? So now, all of a sudden, you come back to the doctor with all your stuff, right? Walking in with your, because you have a sore throat, popping pills, right? Looking like an Indian. All the little kids in the doctor's office are crying and screaming. Oh my gosh, there's a mummy in the thing. And you come into the doctor, and you're like, I can't move my joints, because that's what happens. The joints are killing me. It's like, no problem. We'll give you special, very powerful rheumatism medicine. You somehow have rheumatism. Boy, I don't know. You better move out of your house. Check the mezuzahs. Because you got diarrhea, headaches, rheumatism, all this stuff, arthritis. Like, what's going on? Check the mezuzahs, right? So now you got this rheumatism. So what do they got to do? What are you going to do for rheumatism and all this pain in your bones? We got to give you new medicine, cortisone, which you're going to blow up like a balloon, right? So they give you cortisone. So now you have a fatter face that needs more calamine lotion, right? You look like this scary monster. You're just pumping medicine. But it doesn't stop in your bones. If you don't take care of it, and at this point, even antibiotics won't take care of it, you got to get a shot. I'm not going to tell you where. Okay? You got to get a big, giant penicillin shot for 10 years, actually. 10 years every 2 weeks. Because regular antibiotics, it's already in your bones. Regular antibiotics not going to get rid of it. Now, right? So you're taking all this cortisone, and you're like, don't feel, your bones are good. You're like, ooh, feel good, right? And this stuff's just spreading. So now, it attacks your heart, and you get rheumatic fever. Chas v'shalom. And if it's not taken care of, you're dead. That is the dumbest, worst doctor in the whole world. Do you know why? Because when you walked in the beginning with a rash, and a little bit of a sore throat, maybe a drop of fever, all the doctor had to do was take a Q-tip and put it in your throat and see if a little tree grows in a petri dish and find out if you have strep. A strep culture. $10. And the strep culture would have come back positive. And it would have sent you to CVS. And they would have given you some antibiotics. I am always happy when I have strep. Because if I have strep and it's not a virus, it's one day and it starts getting better and it's not contagious. So you get that Z-Pack. 6 pills, 5 days, 2 the first day, right? And you're done. No chas v'sholom, death. No attack of the heart. No rheumatism. No calamine lotion. No kaopectate. Because this doctor, all he did the whole time was try to cure the symptoms. He never said, why does she have a rash? Not how to stop the rash from itching. Why does she have fever? And so this person's going to die. Not only is he going to die, but that kid, the next day, is going to go to school. Because it doesn't itch no more, because he has calamine lotion. But he's still catchy. Because he didn't take antibiotics. So now the whole class is going to get this strep. Because you didn't take care of the disease. You took care of the symptom. You put calamine lotion. Most of our world today deals with the symptom, not the disease. So you fix gambling, they become an alcoholic. You fix alcoholic, they become something else. Because the addiction is coming from something wrong in their being. So if you fix that, all the stuff goes away. And that's the big mistake that we make. That we attack the symptoms all the time. And the Asifa, I felt, should attack the disease. Why do I need to be on Facebook? Why do I need to look at things that are improper? Why do I need to see something that's improper? What part of me needs fixing, needs a tikkun? But I didn't say anything. I didn't say don't go. I didn't say they're making a mistake. So I called my Rabbi. So Rabbi Gamliel, I'm a public speaker. Do I get up and say everybody has to go? He says, how many people are there going to sit? I said, stadium, and next to the stadium, 60,000. He says, you have to get up and you have to tell everyone to go. I said, but they're really preaching to the choir. The people they're speaking to are not, half of them don't even have it. He said, unbelievable. He said, and this is how I shut everyone up that comes to me. I didn't like it. They had the wrong speakers and this and why they had to spend so much money. And, everybody has their... I said, my Rebbe said, you have to get up and make a macha, a protest. You have to tell Hashem, we as a Jewish nation are not happy about the internet, Facebook, and all these things. We're not happy losing our children and our husbands and our wives to this Zecharia. Because Baruch Hu, we need your help. We are not happy. It's not going to help. What are you doing it for? I'll tell you why. I had the same thing. There was a guy running in Queens for assemblyman or congressman, and he was a Jew that was in the state senate who voted for gay marriage. He voted yes. He's a religious Shomer Shabbos man. And he got up and he said, the reason that I'm voting yes is, even though he said, I'm religious and I'm an Orthodox Jew, the reason I voted yes is that a person has to have a right to live their lifestyle. When I heard that, I'm like, you're bad enough that you voted yes. Now you're going and saying that as religious Jews, now you're telling everyone in the world that we hold that you can do whatever you want. It's a mushchis. It's a te'eves Hashem. So, but who am I to speak? He's running. I'm not a political guy. I get a knock on my door the day before the election, Monday. The election was Tuesday. And there's a yeshiva boy standing there. He says, you're Rabbi Wallerstein? I'm like, yeah. He says, we want you to do a robocall. So what's a robocall? You get on the phone, you're going to make a statement for 1 minute. That statement is going to be sent to every single house in the voting district. I said, whoa, that's pretty big. He says, why don't you do it? I said, well, I'll tell you the truth. At this point, it's already legal. Gay marriage is legal. So what am I going to gain? It's done. What am I going to gain by having this guy not elected? It's done. It's already voted yes. So it's not like I'm getting up before the vote and saying, Jews, get out there and vote against it. Right? It was a vote in the Senate. It's over. It's already. So I'm not doing nothing. Talk to my Rabbi. So he was there. I called up Rabbi Gamliel. Baruch Hashem, he answered. I said, this might affect Ornava. This might affect me. Do I make this phone call? Because this is a phone call against this guy running. It's not simple. He said, 100% make the phone call. I said, but Rebbe, it's already legal. He said, here's your chance in your life, you don't get it very often, to make a macha, a protest for God. So even though you're not going to change the outcome, but you're going to make a protest and say, I, Rabbi Wallerstein, am not happy that gay marriage is legal. It's legal. You have to show Hashem that you don't agree with it. So my Rebbe, I made the robocall, and I got phone calls. You're public, you're a 501c, and you're going to lose it, and the government's going to take away your license because you're not allowed to. If you're a public, charitable organization, you're not allowed to tell somebody what to vote. The problem, I told all those people, I was like, well, it's really tough luck. You know what? Because the government can't take away money because they don't give me no money. I'm not. All these Jewish organizations that take money from the government, then you can say, you can't say it because we'll take money. I never took $1 from the government. I could say whatever I want. And I really felt well that night that I had a chance to stand up for my God and say, even though it's voted and it's yes, I am upset. I am angry that my HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to put up with this. Did you change anything, Wallerstein? 0. I mean, he lost. But that didn't change anything either that he lost because there was no more vote. Did you change anything? No. But I made a statement that it's a Te'evas Hashem, and therefore, I think you shouldn't vote for him. And I got into big trouble because when a certain organization called me to do an interview, I added, and they said, well, do you like the guy who's voting against, the guy who's running against? And I said, I have no idea his politics at all. So when I said that, that's when all the newspapers, New York Times wrote about me, and I'm prehistoric and all that, and they wrote that he doesn't even know the other guy's politics. And he's against this guy. So he's mamish prehistoric because he's only against the gays and he's against human rights and blah, 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 blah. And I'm reading every letter. I'm like, another letter they're gonna have on my wall in Gan Eden and Mitzvah Hashem. Another letter that I stood up for Hashem. And another letter I stood up for Hashem. Write an editorial. Do me a favor. Put it in Time Magazine and in Newsweek that there's this one rabbi in Brooklyn that said it bugs me. Write more. They didn't write enough. That's it. They only wrote 4 sentences about me. So a person has to protest when something is, when there's something being done and it's against the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you have to get up and protest, even if you're not going to change anything. Said Rabbi Gamliel, 60,000 people, Jews, standing in a stadium together and saying, we, Hashem, are not happy that this is spreading and destroying our children. That will cause Hashem to do something. If it doesn't bother you that this is being done to Klal Yisrael, then why does it have to bother him? So by showing Hashem, it bothers me, then it has to bother him. So I want to end with this. I know it's woo! Okay. We're practicing for next year's Shavuos. So I just want to end with this. I don't know if you know this medrash, you don't know this medrash. There were three advisors. This is very important. There were 3 advisors to Paro. Eov, Yisro, and Bilam. In the beginning of Parshas Shmos, he called his 3 brilliant advisors together, and he said, Hava nischakma, let's get together and see how we can destroy the Jews. And Bilam said, I have a great idea. Let's take, like Hitler, let's take every Jewish boy and throw him in the Nile River. Paro was a Democrat, and he said, good, 3 advisors and me, let's vote, if that's what we should do. Paro said, I vote, throw him in the river. Throw him in the Nile. Bilam said, I vote, throw him in the Nile. Yisro and Eov said, we need to think about it, give us a couple, give us a day to think about it. What did Yisro do? He went into the king's treasury, stole the staff, which Paro took from Yaakov, which was created ben Hashmoshes on Erev Shabbos. The staff that Moshe Rabbeinu used that he pulled out of the ground to get Tzipporah. Yeah, very nice story. Right? So that staff was actually Paro's. Yisro took it, ran out of Mitzrayim because he was not going to vote to take little babies and throw them into the Nile River. And he ran away. So the next day, when they came back to vote, they said, where's Yisro? He's gone. Okay. So they turned to Eov, and they said, so how do you vote? How do you vote? And Eov remained silent. That was it. So they decided to kill all the Jewish kids. Then Eov was punished. We know nobody had more pain in his life than Eov. The biggest Yisurim ever. So Eov turned to Hashem. He said, why are you punishing me? Why are you giving me this pain? I didn't vote to kill the Jewish kids. I abstained. I didn't say anything. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, why am I giving you pain? Because when you're in pain, what do? You scream. Does the scream help the pain? No. So why are you screaming? Because it hurts. So why didn't you say no? Even though it's not going to help, and even though it's not going to change anything, you broke your arm. You can scream all you want. You broke your arm, and it hurts like crazy. And you can't say, well, I'm in a lot of pain, so today I'm going to scream for 24 hours, and the pain will be gone. It doesn't help the pain. People in hospitals that are screaming in pain, it doesn't fix what's hurt. Right? So why are you screaming? Why are you screaming? And the answer is, I'm screaming because it hurts. I'm not screaming to fix the pain. I'm screaming because it hurts. So Hashem said to Eov, why didn't you scream? Because it hurts. You should have voted. There were 2 against you. You could not win. They had the majority. So if you would have voted, no, I'm against it, save the Jewish kids, you wouldn't have won. They would have said 2 against 1, too late. But it didn't bother you. If it bothered you, you would have screamed even though you couldn't help. So what Rabbi Gamliel, my Rebbe, is saying, that if something bothers you, even if you can't change it, you need to scream. You need to scream, and you need to daven. Even if it's already something that you know that you can't change, you have to show Hashem that even though it's not being changed, or this is what it is, it bothers me. You have to make a macha. Now, they made a macha of 60,000 people, that it bothers us about the internet, and that is more than all the advice that was given. What that did in Shemayim, that we made a macha, I guarantee you, because something's going to happen. Because Baruch Hu is not going to sit quietly. Now my children are saying it bothers them, it bothers me. And I have the power to change it. They don't. But it bothers them, it bothers me. So a person, before they go to sleep at night, can make a macha, can make a protest, can say, I am upset, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, about what's going on in this world. I'm upset what's happening to kids. I'm upset about all the sickness and the shalom bias and all the people who are not having children. I'm upset about all this stuff. Because if it doesn't bother you, why should it bother him? But if it bothers you that girls are not getting married, and it bothers you that people are sick, and it bothers you that people are not having children, and all this stuff bothers you, then it's going to bother Hashem. If it doesn't bother you, why should it bother me? So each person makes a macha. Guess what? There's how many millions of us? If each person makes their own macha, their own protest, then in Shemayim, that protest will change the world. Hashem is waiting for us to say, I am not happy about gays getting married in New York City, where I live. That it's a law that they're allowed to marry each other. It bothers me. Can I do anything about it? No. But I could do something about it by showing HaKadosh Baruch Hu that it bothers him, because he could do something about it. Maybe a new law, maybe some, I don't know. We don't know what he could do. What he could do. We have to show HaKadosh Baruch Hu that it bothers us. We have to make a macha in whatever it is in life that bothers us. We have, and especially if it's something that's attacking HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And that's what they did by this Asifa, and therefore it was 1,000,000% the right thing to do, and it was 1,000,000% that every person should be there, because every person that was there was in a protest. You were alive in the Kent Massacre. The Kent Massacre was a college where the young people in the college did a huge protest against the Vietnam War. And the president sent in police and soldiers with live ammunition. And they started shooting. And 7 students were killed in cold blood. Now, all those protests, could they stop the Vietnam War? No. The president said, there's a war, there's a war. So why are you college kids protesting and you're having sit-ins? You're not going to change anything. What they were saying is, we're against the war. You're not going to stop the war. Doesn't matter. We're voicing our opinion. And in the end, the pressure that came from the college campuses ended up stopping the war. But in the beginning, it was, we're going to shoot you if you protest. If you protest enough, then things happen. We are so happy with what we have. No, we're not happy. We're so selfish. If everything's okay with me, I'm not protesting. I'm not going to be part of it. That we're not making this macha to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're not on a protest, and therefore nothing's changing. It's just getting worse. So we need to protest. Now, why am I telling you all this? Because we're having a dinner. And this dinner, right, is for women. Because Ornava is for women. And every person that comes to this dinner, it's not about money. We have 800 seats. 2 days ago, we had 80 reservations. 80. I don't know what's going to be by the time we get there. But right now we have 80 people coming to our dinner. It's going to look a little weak, you know. So I said today on the radio, I'm like, if you don't come to the dinner, what you are saying is that there's one organization that takes care of women. There's one organization that does what we do. There's one high school that does what my high school does. We are saying, it's not important to me. We should have taken Giant Stadium. There should be 80,000 women coming to Giant Stadium and saying, I'm making a macha that women are going through, that girls are going through what they're going through. Whether it's abuse, whether it's the shidduch crisis, whether it's not having children, whatever it is, it bothers me. So there's 80,000 of us saying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it bothers me. Can I do anything about it? Do I have the money to change it? Do I have the science to change it? No. I'm a single girl. I don't have all that. But I'm telling you, I'm protesting. I'm in Kent. I'm not against the Vietnam War, but I'm against all the suffering that girls are having. So how could it be that we only have 80 reservations? Where is everybody? Where's the macha? Where's the protest? I'm not happy what's going on with girls in this world today, with Jewish girls. I'm not happy. I'm not happy with the girls being on the street. I'm not happy with girls doing drugs. I'm not happy with girls cutting themselves. I'm not happy with girls being anorexic. I'm not happy with girls committing suicide. 12 girls last year. Where's the protest? 12 Jewish girls committed suicide last year. In our tri-state. Where's the protest? Well, he keeps walking around. Okay. Wasn't my sister. Wasn't my friend. 12 mothers are not on this world anymore. Because they were girls that could have been mothers. 12 mommies that might have had 12 kids. And 12 wives. They're not going to be wives. Because they're in the ground. Who protested? Who said to Hashem, it bothers me? Who said, so it doesn't bother you? So why should I change what's going on? So forget the dinner. Forget the money. The presence of being there, of 800 or 80,000 people saying, we are here, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You need to do something for Jewish women. This is crazy. This is out of hand. This is out of hand. As a young kid, I'm going through school, crazy pressure, I need a therapist. I need help. As a kid, I need help. Then, I finally become of age to have a shidduch. I need help. I need an organization to help me because I can't find the shidduch. Now I finally got married. Now I need an organization to help me with shalom bayis. Now I finally have shalom bayis. Now I need an organization to have kids. Now I finally got an organization to have kids, and I have kids. Now I need an organization to help me with my kids because they're off the derech. You're happy with that? You're happy with a girl's life from when she's a young girl, that she goes, this is her life? She needs therapists and organizations, and she's hurting herself, and she's doubting herself, and she's at low self-esteem, and we're just all floating along, because it ain't me. It's not me, it's not my sister. Hashem says, okay, it doesn't bother you, it doesn't bother me. When it bothers you, it bothers me. Chanukah, until the Maccabees, if you read the story, right, everything was going along. Hashem, we were getting decimated. Hashem didn't interfere. How did Hanukkah happen? There were 1,000 Jews, and they were in a cave, and they were keeping Shabbos, and the Yavanim came, and they heard the Jews were in there, so they took wood. There were children, babies, mothers, and husbands, keeping Shabbos in a secret cave. And somebody ratted, so they took wood, and they put it at the mouth of the cave, and they lit it, and all 1,000 people died the most miserable death that you could imagine. They all suffocated from smoke inhalation. And Yochanan Kohen Gadol came back to his brothers and said, we cannot stand quiet. And they said, the Greek Empire? 5 guys against the Greek Empire? Are you out of your mind? He says, no, but we have to make a macha. We have to tell Hashem, we're not going to stand for 1,000 Jews being slaughtered in a cave in such a torturous way. We're all going to die. They went out to die. We are going to die. We're fighting the whole Greeks. But you know what? We're going to go out dying, protesting to Hashem, we're not taking this. What does Hashem say? Ooh, it bothers you? It bothers you what happened in the cave? Now it bothers me. Now we're going to wipe out the whole Yavan. Greek Empire caved in. 5 guys. It bothered 5 people. Look what happened. You have to show Hashem that it bothers you. And that's whether sitting at the edge of your bed and telling him it bothers you, or coming to a dinner and saying that we're behind this organization and we are not happy. And anyone who's not, I'm not happy. Why do I do what I do? Because I'm happy? I'm not happy what's going on in this world. And I deal with stuff that none of you in this room could even handle. Trust me. As much as you think you can handle, you can't. I deal with this stuff. I'm happy. I'm happy. I can say, Kosh Baruch Hu, I protest. I'm one guy, but whatever. I protest. This is not fair. This can't go on anymore. And the Rosh Yeshiva of what's it called? Eshat Torah, he protested. He failed 7 times. He opened the yeshiva and it closed. And he kept protesting. I'm not accepting that there are Jews who don't even know they're Jewish. So he opened the yeshiva and it closed. And he opened the yeshiva and it closed. And he went bankrupt and people didn't give him any money. He said, you're a loser. Why would I invest in you? You opened up 7 stores and each one went bankrupt. You want me to give you money? And he said, I'm not accepting that there's so many secular Jews that are intermarrying. And now look what Eshet Torah is today. Hashem said, oh, Rosh Yeshiva, you're not accepting, you're protesting. Now I'm protesting. So there's an Eshet Torah. Somebody has to protest. You can't just accept this. How could there be 80 people 10 days before an Or Nava dinner? Where is everybody? Forget about the people that we helped. Hakar Satov. Forget about Hakar Satov. Not important. I mean, it is important, but let's not talk about Hakar Satov. Where's your protest? Where are you saying there's an organization that helps women? Hashem, help them. How many people daven for this organization? How many girls that come to my share, 50,000 hits. I get calls and letters. Rabbi Wallerstein, you changed my life. I'm off this and I'm off that. I'm on this. And you don't even know what you changed my life. I get calls all the time. How many women who are married, who are part of Or Nava, when they light their candles, are like, Kosh Baruch Hu, there's an organization that helps girls. Help them. Help Wallerstein raise the money so he could show up at 9 o'clock instead of at 10:30. Help the organization. How many people there's only one organization like this. Daven, how many girls, our name, my name, or Nava's name is in your siddur in Shemona Esrei? I'm not, you don't answer. I'm asking a question. So if it isn't there, so why not? Why not? We're the only ones doing what we're doing. Why aren't you davening for us? Forget money. No more money. Daven for us. 50,000 hits? There should be 50,000 women davening for Or Nava. I promise you, with 50,000 women davening for Or Nava, we'd have a building that would be taller than the Empire State Building. We'd have gyms and classrooms and shiurim. We wouldn't even know what to do with it. We don't have 50,000 women davening that Or Nava should be successful. Because no one's making a mancha. Hashem's like, oh, it bothers you that they're not successful? Now it bothers me that they're not successful. So some lady, some rich woman's going to hear about it and say, Wallerstein, take care of the girls, whatever you need. Blank check. Hashem has no power to do that. It bothers you girls, and it bothers me. It doesn't bother you? Fine. Then it doesn't bother me. It's time to wake up. It's time to stop being lethargic. It's time to make a difference. We've got to make a difference. It's got to bother you. It's got to bother you. Otherwise, you're going to end up chas v'shalom like the one guy that didn't bother. He abstained. You can't abstain. In God's world, you can't abstain. You can't just say, I'm not saying anything. That's not the way it works here. You should all have a tzlacha. I'm sorry that I'm so hard on you because again, I'm preaching to the choir because everyone that's here probably does daven for us. And they waited an hour and a half for me. So you're not the ones that need to hear this. But there's a lot of people watching on that little camera over there. They need to hear about it. So if you can help us, help us. But I'm not asking you for money. You don't have money. A lot of single girls, they don't have money, whatever it is. If you have meiser, we need help. If you just had a wedding and you can give meiser from the wedding, why are you giving it to everybody else? We got you to the wedding. I asked a girl I said, could you give me your meiser money? She goes, oh, I'm really sorry. I gave it to this and this organization. I'm like, hello? With all respect, you weren't even religious when you came here. I'm like, how could you? Why wouldn't you even think to give us a little of the meiser? It didn't click. Now, she didn't give her husband's organization. It was fine. It's up to the husband, not up to the wife. She gave her something that she liked. She gave it to, like, what are you thinking? So don't give us money, but daven for us. Daven for us before you go to sleep. Say, Or Nava should be matzliach. Because if Or Nava is matzliach, then Hashem is matzliach, and Klal Yisrael is matzliach. We're not some organization that wants to become football players or basketball players. We're here for you. And I hate to do this. It makes me feel like whatever. But it doesn't. And there's nothing else seems to be working. Even this doesn't seem to be working. Because I did it last week. Nothing changed. So I don't even know how to get through. You have to go inside yourselves. All right. Yeshua Batzlach and Bracha Hashem should be with all your tefillos. And Be'ezrat Hashem we should see Mashiach. Here be Amen. Amen. Thank you so much for staying so late. If you wait another 10 minutes, we'll do Tikkun Chatzos.